Discussion.
Discussion is, I think we had our county attorney look at that. We had asked for the balance that for every precinct and road and bridge. And at the same time that we're talking about this item, is I remember that we had that $5.2 million to pay our vendors, which we worked real hard for it. And up to right now, nobody has presented us with nothing. And it's kind of hard for us as commissioners, I'm talking about myself, to do anything. And I see that people call us and we don't even know what's getting paid, what are they doing. I think it was like a month ago that I asked for the balance on my precinct, and then the whole commissioner asked for their balance and also the balance on the road and bridge. So it's real uncomfortable to be working without a budget, and up to right now I haven't got nothing, no answers from our county attorney, from our upstairs auditor, so assistant auditors, I'm sorry. So we cannot be operating a county without hiring these people. And then at the last time, you know, they wound up, after they do the job, they don't get paid. So I would like to get, if they knew that I have this item, how come the assistants auditors weren't here?
Well, because the item doesn't read for them to be here, you're asking, I would imagine that you're asking me what the role is, or are you asking in general?
Well, man,
Yeah.
if it was my department, precinct 2 or whatever it is, you know, that means we're asking for them to be present. And we ask them to give us the balance of every precinct and of the road and bridge. And they totally cannot answer that.
I can give you that answer because I received it late last week in order to, and I gave each commissioner a copy. You should have a copy.
Can you please find it?
You didn't check your box? Right there. At the very end, you can see, it's hard to read because this is not an official monthly report, but I can tell you where you're at. You should all have at least 58% of your budget left. Commissioner Precinct 1 has $30,589, which is 30% of his total budget. Commissioner Precinct 2 has negative 8%, which means that you have overspent already for the fiscal year. Commissioner Precinct 3 has 57% of his budget at $113,000, and Commissioner Precinct 4 actually has 80% of his budget at $56,000.
May I, Your Honor?
Sure you may.
If you had this, how come you didn't call me?
I told you when I got it. I got it late last week to try to get my budget amendment, and we put this in the box.
This is really important for us to run our precinct. And you should call us and have a meeting so we can know exactly where we are. We're tired of people coming in and telling us, you know, this is what you have. You know, it's like going to court and, you know, trying to be innocent while they tell you you're guilty.
That was put in your box like everybody else's, and that's why we're here. We're at a meeting, you have the opportunity to speak about it. I'll let you know that as of then, which is a report from the 22nd, you are at a negative amount, but I understand that since then, you have let go of some people which would allow you to get you back into the black. Am I correct?
I guess you're correct. One of the things that really upsets me is what's the number one material that we need here in the county?
In the county or in Road and Bridge?
On the road and bridge.
It would have to be asphalt.
That's right. We have tried to pay that account, and I think yesterday or today they said it was not going to be paid. And that gets me really upset, you know, because here we are trying to answer all the calls. Pretty people are pretty upset because they drive through these potholes and their cars get warm. And it's not only that, you know, we're talking about life, we're talking about parks, we're talking about all this stuff, yet we can't do nothing because we do not have, or nobody has told us how the new assistant auditors are going to work. Have they come here and presented themselves?
I think that they have spoken to your assistant. And there's one thing that everybody needs to know. And I think some of us are aware of it, apparently you're not. There was some methods that were followed. And I'm not blaming the commissioner, and I'm not blaming necessarily the auditor's office or any particular office. I will say this, if the process was not followed correctly, we have to go back now and verify that that vendor brought in whatever material, as an example asphalt, was actually brought in. That the work was actually done correctly. Now, hold on, I'm not finished. I gave you a chance. Give me a chance. Whether a foreman or a supervisor or whoever signed that PO or didn't sign the PO, we have to go now back and verify to make sure that work was done. There was some steps in the process that were not followed correctly. It's not that those people are not going to get paid. It's going to take longer for them to get paid if they had a legitimate expenditure, because the process was not followed the way it was supposed to. And I'm letting you know that.
Well, I would like to know, I would like for the assistant to put it on black and white. Do I have to ask on black and white all these questions? Why we're getting stuck? Like I ask you right now, number one, our material in road and bridge is the asphalt. Why haven't gotten paid? We ran out an advertisement bid, and they were the ones that got awarded. So if they got awarded and they send us material, I think that you get paid. And man, you know, I think I've been a commissioner for 12 years, and all of a sudden, you know, fine, there are changes. They need to put it everything in black and white. Because of this, they say, I say, we're not going to get nowhere.
Are you done?
Yeah, I guess.
I will say this, regardless if they follow the process or not, at this juncture, your precinct doesn't have any money. So either way, you wouldn't get it. Okay? Is that
Mayor?
what yeah.
You know, it's so simple to say, if you don't put it on black and white, you just gave me something.
It's in black and white.
Now I'm going to respond to you. You had it a week ago,
I got it
or
late
2
last
weeks
week.
ago, and you give it to me right now, then fine.
I received it late last week. not 2 weeks ago.
Okay, we're talking about road and bridge. Road and bridge means all the precincts. We cannot order the asphalt because they haven't gotten paid.
That's correct. And they're not gonna get paid until they fix the process to how the material was purchased. And that's what they're working on.
Well, another one. Now that you say there hasn't been processed and all that stuff. Number one is we have a landfill. The landfill is doing great. Got the employees, good funding, picking up new clients, and at the same time is they cannot purchase merchandise because they have not paid the bills. The assistant auditors. And I don't think there's an entity that does the fundings that we're doing a month. So we need to be careful and pay our bills because there's always money there. And if they could change the ways of we're purchasing our items, simple as that. Just for them to sit it on black and white. We need black and white because I'm tired of this say so. They say they brought it in. And I think you, as administrator, judge, should understand that all the community is looking at you and seeing like you're not working for us, for commissioners to do our work.
Are you done?
Just a minute. Yes, to me it's really important right now that is, I don't know, is the county attorney. I asked him everything about the job for the assistant auditors, you know. What is it? Purchasing agent has been changed, and do you have anything for us?
Well, Commissioner, Judge, there has really been, other than personnel change, I don't believe that the process has changed. You know, the law is the law. You have to go through that. That's why when you talk about a question as to what's the procedure in that, I mean, I really don't understand that question because it's no different than how it was before.
Yeah.
Well, hold on.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So they're gonna have to verify everything, and I agree with the judge with exactly what the judge is saying, that before there were some steps that were left out of the process, but guess what? Now they're not gonna be left out of the process, and that's what takes a little bit longer to pay these vendors, okay? Everything has to be verified, especially if it's one of those older POs or brochures or invoices that stay behind. It has to be verified. If they're saying, I dumped 20 tons of asphalt in this street, and we did it on such and such day with so much oil, whatever, they're gonna go in there and check. And they're gonna take somebody that knows about that to make sure that that amount of quantity could actually fit in that particular street or road before anything is paid. So that takes quite a bit of toll on the personnel, especially when you have, or just got on board a purchasing agent in the county. It's a new person trying to come on board, trying to get acquainted with how things that were done or things that were purchased from before, and trying to verify all that before anything gets paid. So that could be you. That's probably why you're frustrated, Commissioner. But I mean, that's just the way things are right now. That's the way they're going to be handled. But they're not going to be. Don't think that just because you have a new county county auditor or the assistant county auditor doing it, that it's gonna be, you know, different set of rules or statutes that we follow. That's what he wants.
Yeah. When you say that things have changed, that how am I gonna find out that things have changed if they haven't seen nothing on black and white? Second, who hires the purchase agent?
It's the county, if it's part of the county auditor staff, then the county auditor does it, you know? Commissioner's court has nothing to do with it. The way it works, in other words, the hierarchy of how the county auditor works is he's appointed by the district judge. Once that county auditor is appointed by the district judge, that county auditor will recommend to the district judge the staff that he's gonna have under him and the salaries that he would want to pay, and as long as they're reasonable, then the district judge can go ahead and approve that. But Commissioner's Court doesn't come anywhere in the picture when it comes to that, the staffing of the county auditors or anything like that. It's strictly the district judge.
Do we have a county auditor right now?
We have,
Per se?
is Carla Masuka, yes, who's under an order by the district court.
But we don't have a county auditor.
An official one that you can call him that, like if you're referring to somebody taking the place of Mr. Pineda, no, that hasn't taken place.
Then who hired the purchase agent?
The county auditor made that recommendation.
What?
The county auditor,
Which one?
the previous county. You see, you didn't bother to show up at the public hearing on the 24th. If you had, you would have known what transpired. But you don't know that, do you?
No, that's what we
You're
are.
asking, and I'm telling you.
And
And I'm telling you that he was appointed by the auditor and approved by the district judge in a court order on January the 24th.
And if you knew about all these changes, how come you can't do it professional on black and white?
What is this with a black and white deal?
Because
I mean, it's there, it's a court order, it's a matter of public record. Is a court order and a public notice not as public as you can possibly
Very
get?
public.
And it's defined, okay?
Because anybody can reach it and get it, you know, and it's in black and white, like the Commissioner saying.
Look, Commissioner, I want you to understand one thing, and I can appreciate your candor, and I think it's great that you are here fighting for your precinct. Believe me, the only thing that hurts me a little bit is for you to say that I don't care about what transpires in the precinct. Well, all I can tell you is, if the county auditor that was there before was doing things wrong, you can't continue to do them just because they were done that way. Now, believe me, I've spent a lot of time in the district judge's office, in that county auditor's office, trying to get you all's bills paid. And even I have some questions as to how some of these bills are going to get paid today, because I'm going to question them in accounts payable. So don't tell me that I'm not fighting for you, okay? Because when they told me you didn't have money, I told you what to do in order to get that money back into your account. And that's what you did. They are not going to allow for any department or any county administrator or any county commissioner to overspend on their budget if the money's not there. Everything has to be done. Why do you think item 5 was pulled again? Why? Because the budget adjustment hadn't been made. And that's why I withdrew it. I'm going to cover you guys. My job is to protect you all, not to get you into trouble. And I want you to understand that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Now, when we went ahead and we're waiting for the $5.2 million, we wanted to know who was going to get paid. Up to right now, they haven't given us a list.
Okay?
And that's their job.
And you and I do not have the monthly reports either. And that's something that we've been arguing. That's not my job. That's the county auditor's.
But we don't have them.
That's right. It is their job and that office to produce monthly reports that we do not have. So I get this at the end of the week and said, you've got to find this money. Why? Because it's catch-22. If you don't find the money to pay those independent auditors, they can't come in and do an independent audit. And if they don't do their independent audit, that's it. We all lose our federal funding, we lose our state funding, you guys start getting cut in by TCEQ. So my job is to put out those fires. And that's what we're doing at this junction. Are we going to catch up? Yes. Are you impatient? Yes, understandably so. I'm as angered as you are by this process, but unfortunately, this is a process. And we did discuss it about 3 weeks ago in a meeting, where we said it was gonna take 2 months to get out of this. We're not there yet. Guess what? The 2 months haven't passed. Okay? So I'm letting you know. And I think what you brought is good, it's healthy discussion, and we're gonna argue, that's gonna happen. But I want you to know that we're trying to get this thing done.
That's what I'm telling you about black and white. I'm gonna bring it back.
Bring it
They
back.
told,
and
they,
put it in black and
they
white.
told us, somebody told us that by the 1st of March or the end of February, we're already gonna have an auditor.
I know, I didn't tell you that. I don't know where you got that from. I don't know anything.
That's what I'm telling you, you know, it's a say-so.
Well, you said somebody told you. I don't know who told you, because I know I didn't. All I can tell you is I didn't tell you that.
If I don't have it in black and white,
No, I'll make sure to tell them, no blue, no red, just black and white. Sir, I would like to allow you to amend item 48 to request the roll of the.
that's my motion.
We have an amended motion by Commissioner Heredia. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Rosales. In discussion. Yes, sir. Go ahead, sir.
Something real simple. Can we get a breakdown on how those lines were spent? Item 6.
On what you have on your budget or what?
Yes, sir. Just to confirm with what I got now.
Sure, you can just go into the county auditor office and ask them to give you a break. They'll give it to you.
They can't provide it to us for this documentation.
I don't know if you can do that there. Where you see where it just tells you where you can see is what you spent on a monthly basis, where it says monthly expense. And there in yours it'll show that we didn't have any in the month of February.
So your recommendation is to get it to them.
That is correct.
Okay. Thank you.
Questions, gentlemen? We have an amended motion. We have a first and a second. Any more questions? All those in favor? Opposed by the same sign. Motion carries.
So, Judge.
Motion by Commissioner Heredia. Is there a second? Second by Commissioner Maldonado. Discussion.
Yes, Your Honor, I went ahead and put this item because I need to know, like things have changed. Now that we have the treasurer, that's the one that makes the checks, and I need to know exactly what responsibility for us, for our vendors, to get paid. And I know we had always had problems with the auditors, with the treasurer, or the county auditor, and that thing had never been sent to the treasurer, so how can he get something paid when he doesn't have the invoices? And now that we have changed the PO system, that we'd like to know exactly.
Now that we're doing the PO system correctly, you mean? Mr. Reyes?
The process that we're following is, in order for us to issue a check, we have to have the information processed by the purchasing agent in conjunction with the other auditors, and that the invoices match the purchase order procedure. Okay? That way, we are sure that a proper check will be issued to a vendor. It's already processed and entered by them in the budgetary expenditure line item. Correct? Where it should be positive. in the general ledger.
Ma'am, would you please tell us why we're doing it that way?
That's the way it should be.
And was it being done that way before?
I will not tell you.
That's the scary part. You've been county treasurer for how long?
31 years, 8 months.
31 years, 8 months. And you're telling me that for the longest time, the process that was supposed to be followed was not being followed?
In the beginning, when I first came in,
It was.
about 5 months later, a CPA county auditor was appointed. He and I used to work hand in hand. Decisions were followed. Matter came up, he resigned. Change.
But you would agree that the way that it's being done right now, in retrospect to having those two coincide?
As I said before, we have to have that information properly coded for entry into the budgetary system, which we don't handle. That's the general ledger handled by the auditing department. After all that is processed, verified, corrected, turn it over to us, and we issue the check to the vendor. That vendor comes in. If he comes in by person, we have a check register also. He signs for the check that he takes out. The date, what fund it came from, the whole works. It is mailed out, it's probably marked, mailed out. But that is what we are following now, my department. Yet, last week we issued about close to 80 or 90 checks. That's what we issued. Now this week, we have to slow down this week because it's payroll week. And each of my staff members, and actually I could tell you right now that I'm working 3.5 members. Because one of my members, key member, was taken over by the other department. The incentive was a $7,000 increase in pay. So, helping them now. My department is now training a new employee. That takes time also. So my people have to supervise that young lady. And especially payroll week, we have to slow down on issues of checks. Because we can either do payroll or we can do vendor checks. We cannot do both. But still, my staffer who takes care of vendor checks, she, in emergencies, she drops her payroll work and issues vendor checks in emergencies. So we're doing that, we're overloaded right now, but we'll catch up. We'll catch up.
Yeah. By any chance, do you already have the bulk check ready? For the material?
The gentleman came in today and I inquired about it because I had signed it already. He will give it to us without the invoices on a long list of checks. So my staff will still, in that manner, she issued the check. I signed it, but that check is still in the auditor's office. Meeting out on the grounds that she received information from the district judge to hold that check because some of those invoices were dated 2010. And at the time, no budgeted funds were available for those purchases. And that's why that check is held up. And $136,000.
Very well said, and if I may interject on that, for what you're asking. There's a statutory reason out there, and we're having John Aguilera, our bond counsel, call the district judge, that states that we cannot make a payment for something that went over budget from a prior fiscal year. So they have to go back, get the Attorney General's opinion, to allow that to be paid from the loan that is there to pay off existing debt. Part of the problem that we've had as an administration was that the previous county auditor would allow departments to go over whatever was allotted for them in that fiscal year. Hence, every year, you were going over 500,000, $1 million, $1.5 million, and all of that debt was being accrued, yet it wasn't being paid. So every year, you find yourself paying previous year's debt. Now, Mr. Pereira is no longer in there. Whoever is acting as auditor is not going to allow that to happen anymore. And the district judges, who have to oversee until we have a regular auditor in that respect, are not going to pay something that statutory law says they can't. That's why we're getting the interpretation.
Community. For this.
What is the message we're going to send our community?
Oh, yeah.
That we're trying to do things the correct way.
Correct, correct.
So, I mean, look, he just got up telling you, how long have you been fighting for that responsibility? How long have you been fighting for the responsibility that belongs to you as a county treasurer?
That has been my responsibility, but it was never given to me.
Correct. But don't you think you want to do what's your responsibility, right?
I try to do.
And I'd like to commend you for that, because he's telling you himself that that had been wrestled away from him almost 20-somewhat years ago.
Correct. But he's the treasurer, and we have the assistant auditor. They finish the paperwork, and they say, go ahead and write a check for this. And he goes and signs a check, and then they go, no, don't even give the check to the vendor. You bring it back.
Do not give it to them yet until they get all the information.
If you're an assistant,
No, nobody said you.
if you're an assistant auditor,
But you made it.
but if you're an assistant auditor, that means the assistant auditor went ahead and checked everything out. You know what? These are the bills, this is correct, the PO, take it to the treasurer, let him make the check. And then after that, you know what? No check for those people. So who's making a mistake?
Who's making a mistake? They're making sure that everything is cleared the way it needs to be before those people get paid. Period. And you know, you can come up here and you can get as mad as you want. You can try to make it look like you're not helping the people, you're not doing this. Guess what? You're not going to do things the way you were doing them before. You're going to follow the rules, just like all of us are. And those people are going to get paid when they're supposed to get paid. And you're not going to circumvent anything to get those people.
Your Honorable, I'm telling you the way it is. You know, their job for the assistant auditor to release some invoices, that means they already checked them out. Go ahead and make the check, sign it, and give it to the vendor. And after that, they found out it was a mistake, and you already said by whom.
And that's fine. You're going to tell me you've never made a mistake? Are you going to tell me that there's been a time that you turn in a bill and you don't realize that there wasn't the money to pay there that was there? They pulled it back and said you need to get this information in order for it to get paid.
You're talking about people that we have done business.
That we've been doing business with for a long time, but it's going to be a long process. It's going to be a tedious process. They're going to get paid. They're going to get paid. But it's going to take a long time to get them paid because the process wasn't being followed correctly.
So if they call us directly,